Hi there, my name is Sai Wong from YATA Canada, and today I had the opportunity to meet with the Latvian ambassador to Canada to discuss Latvian-Canadian ties and Canada's NATO contribution to Latvia. Ambassador, thank you for taking time to speak to me, and please introduce yourself.
I'm Kārlis Eihenbaums, ambassador of Latvia. I've already been in Ottawa 2 years. Well, I survived 2 winters, as you say, here. It's been a wonderful time, very, very intensive, and I'm glad to be in Canada.
Can you give us a quick history of Latvia?
Well, Latvia as a country, to compare with Canada, is a little bit older. Our first cities been established in the 13th century, a little bit longer than Ottawa. And we ourselves consider to be ancient people of Europe. Our language is very, very old. We and Lithuanians and Old Prussians are linked to Sanskrit, spoken in India. It means that we are very, very ancient people.
What kind of historical ties does Canada have with Latvia?
To Canada, people were coming for refuge. And already more than 100 years ago, we can trace some Latvians in Canada, especially in Manitoba area in Alberta. And they came here in order to avoid oppression in Tsarist Russia. After the Second World War, it's a big influx because what's happened? Latvia was given to Soviet Union and we became a part of the Soviet Union. And people were fleeing because they remembered very well what's happened when the Russian Soviet occupation happened in 1940. And they were fleeing the country. They came to Canada in late 40s, early 50s. And they established schools, they established churches, they established houses here, community houses where they can meet, where they can think, speak Latvian, dance together to keep the Latvian roots alive.
With the end of the Cold War, what made Latvia seek NATO membership?
As you remember, end of 80s and beginning of 90s, Soviet Union was dismantled. And we are glad that we were part of this process to fight against this empire of evil in a protest to Soviet oppression. As human chain from Tallinn to Riga, from Riga to Vilnius, was involving millions of people. It was something world didn't see before. And when opportunity arose, we immediately decided we have to be part of Western institutions, democratic institutions, like European Union and also like NATO. And 2004, we joined the NATO.
In the 2014 Warsaw Summit, NATO decided to create the Enhanced Forward Presence. Why did NATO do this?
Well, of course, this was NATO's answer. This was NATO's answer to aggression, what was done by the Russian Federation. They attacked Ukraine, they grabbed Crimea, they started war in Donbas area of eastern Ukraine. They moved military installations towards west. They remilitarized territory of Kaliningrad Oblast, which is a part of Russia, historical lands of Old Prussians. That was the answer of NATO. It was a very, very small step, but important step. They put up 3 battalions in Baltic states and 1 battalion in Poland. And now we have 4 battle groups in Baltic states and Poland. It is important presence and it is solidarity, and as Canadians call this operation, it's Operation Reassurance, and it is important reassurance. And Latvians are very, very happy that that happened because they remembered what happened after the Second World War. When we were waiting for rescue from democratic countries, nobody came. This time, democracies were where they should be, to stand for values.
Mm-hmm. And I guess this perfectly jumps into the next question, and that question is, how is Canada contributing to Latvia's defense and security?
Canada is one of the leading nations of one of the battalions, and particularly in Latvia. And Canadian leadership is doing very, very well. Your Prime Minister was just checking how the battle group is doing, and he was very, very glad. He visited Ādažu base in July. He spoke with the Canadians, he spoke with the Spaniards, he spoke with the Slovaks, with the Spaniards, with Albanians, with Poles, with everybody who is there. And this battle group consists of 9 nations. And Canadians are doing very, very well. The Canadian image of sitting down and talk over and to put together different cultures, different political or historical backgrounds is working well in this battle group. This is the most popular, and also biggest battle group. The most popular because everybody wants to be a part of this battle group. It's a great compliment to Canada. Well, it's also a compliment to Latvia. But indeed, it's important work done by Canadians. Highly appreciated by Latvians, highly appreciated by NATO leadership.
How does this affect Canadian security and defense?
First of all, I can joke. I mean, what is ocean? You call it pond, and it is in reality only a pond nowadays. But of course, Canadian presence in Europe is sort of returning to roots. Most of the Canadians, those who started to build Canada as a country, came from Europe. And Europe matters for the security of Canada as security of Canada matters for Europeans. In our days, distance, thousands and thousands of kilometers, is nothing, is absolutely nothing. Canadian presence in Latvia is good for Canadian democracy. And what we saw relatively short time ago, there is an attack on democracies. There is interference in democratic processes, in elections. It happened in Europe, it happened in Sweden, France, it happened in Germany, and it's happened even in your neighboring country, most probably in the United States. And this is important for us to be where we stand united for our values. And another, from operational point of view, Canadians with this presence in Latvia are in this good position now to train together, to work together with another NATO nations, and to find out each of us are in a best, and to find out how to do it in the best way possible. This is good training, but it is also important signal.